Hey, how's it going? It's Ollie here. Now, I wanted to break down for you a very, very simple concept that I think you're going to find quite inspiring and eye-opening. So what's the secret behind those huge sales screenshots you see from Amazon sellers? How do you go from having a very small amount of money, very small amount of experience, to pulling in, say, a few million in sales in a relatively short space of time? How do you, a few million is an example, but even a few 100,000 or maybe even 10 or 20,000. What's the process that normal people take to get there, and why do most people never actually get that much success and fall short? Well, I wanted to talk to you today about something called the compound effect. Now, if you know anything about investing or finance or even business, you must have heard of the term, the compound effect. It's basically when you apply the same percentage to a number over and over and over again. It just keeps compounding and compounding, and what happens is the number doesn't just get bigger, but it accelerates in growth. It gets bigger and bigger at a faster rate the bigger it gets, right? So you take 1 and you double it, you get 2, well then it goes from 2 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 16, 16 to 32, and etc, etc, etc. Each increment is bigger and bigger and bigger. Now when you have an Amazon business, you start off with a tiny little amount of money, right? Whatever it is, like for me it was $600 on a credit card, and you buy a little bit of stock. You turn that $600 into, say, $1,000 after all the fees and all that stuff, and you just keep reinvesting your profits back into your business. This can actually give you some kind of compound effect. Now, yes, things don't always run so smoothly. Sometimes you'll have an unexpected expense and you'll go from $600 to $1,000, and then something will happen, it'll go back down to 600, and then you'll go up to 1,000 again, then 1,200, then 1,600, and if you keep reinvesting, your capital will increase. But here's the problem. Most people end up quitting way too early because the compound effect is unbelievably powerful, but it actually takes a while before it really kicks in and before it really takes real effect. Give me 1 second. Let's have a look at this graph behind me. Okay. So what happens is, as you apply the same percentage to any number, or as you keep reinvesting your profits back into your business, the real growth that's going to happen as a result of your consistent action, keep finding new products, constantly working on new strategies, the real progress doesn't happen for quite a while. So what 90% of Amazon sellers do in the beginning is they're really excited at this point. Right, in the beginning, they're so excited that maybe they joined a course, maybe they set up their Amazon account, they've bought a load of products, maybe they've made their first sale and this is new and it's exciting, it's all happening, and they just can't get enough of this new opportunity. But they're expected to go from here to here within a matter of weeks or a matter of months. Well, it doesn't always quite happen that way, and we know this, otherwise every single Amazon seller who started an account would be here with a huge sales screenshot right now. So what happens in between? Well, a lot of the time, when someone gets a little bit of the way along their journey, say they get to here, they have some kind of hiccup. Amazon, for example, it's a very common one actually, wants you to transition from an individual seller's account to a business seller's account. If you started as an individual, when you hit 15K in sales, Amazon goes, right, we want you to transition. A hurdle, it's annoying, it stops your momentum. Right? Or maybe a supplier that you were getting products off can't give you the same price anymore. It stops momentum. And at this point, people think, well, look, I haven't really made much progress from when I began until now anyway. So what the hell is the point in me continuing if I'm going to keep hitting hurdles like this and my progress is going to be so unbelievably slow? But what these people don't understand is if they just persevered past that little barrier, that little hump, which in the grand scheme of things is nothing, right? What, it's a couple of days or a week, and just got back on track, focused, sooner or later, they would get to here. A little bit more growth. Right now, a lot of people get to this point where they've seen steady growth for quite a while. Say this could be 2 months, 3 months into their journey. And things are going well, but this is around the time, a couple months in, when people realize that this stuff really does take work. And they start weighing up all of the work they're putting in and comparing it to their job. So for example, they'll think, well, I put in 8 hours a day into my job at the moment, and I'm earning, say, a certain amount of money each month, 2-3 grand a month. I'm putting 4 hours a day into my Amazon business, and it's not really earning me anything because I'm reinvesting the money back in the business. And, even if I did pay myself, it would only be, say, $1 grand a month at this stage. So they start to think, well, for all this time and energy I'm putting in, plus I have to worry about tax returns and, maybe getting staff in the future, running my own business and having all this responsibility, they're thinking, well, for this amount of increase, really, this is not worth it. And then this is another point where people quit. Well, this is why this is so unbelievably tragic and, quite frankly, kind of stupid. Because if they could see into the future the potential of what could happen if they just stuck it out and let the mathematics of compounding take its course with just a little bit more energy, just a little bit more patience, they could reach this part in the curve where things really start to skyrocket and snowball out of control. Now at this point, this is when you really start to feel your business skyrocketing. Right? This is when things start to happen, because around this point, when your compounding starts to pile up, you've got more products in the inventory, right? Because you keep sending them in throughout the whole time you've been selling on your Amazon account, right? You just constantly focus, sending in products. Some of them don't sell. Sometimes Amazon lose things, and it's not always pretty, but you kept going. You've got more skills, more knowledge, and because you've made sales and you've had this steady increase, your capital has now grown. So this is the point where you're just about to see things explode. And if you stick it out through all of this, even though selling on Amazon isn't pretty every single step of the way, you will get to experience the curve that happens when compounding starts to really take effect. But here's the thing, you can't cheat this. You can't just think that you're going to go from here to here in a month or two. It takes time. Now, in my first year selling on Amazon, I started in late January, early February of 2015. By November, I got to £10,000 per month in profit. That's 50 grand a month in sales, in revenue. So that was here, right? So within my first year, I'd done about £300,000 in sales, and I was able to post a big fat screenshot and show everybody. And that's when I decided, look, maybe this is time I should start helping other people get started on their journeys and experience this compounding curve. Could you imagine though, if I'd have got to March, when I did have a few hurdles at the time? I had cash flow problems, I had problems with a VA that I had hired, it wasn't working out too well, Amazon were giving me a little bit of grief around this time. Imagine if I'd got to there and just thought, you know what, I'm not really making too much money, maybe I'll just call it a day and quit. Think of all the stuff I would have missed out on. I never would have got to the real part of the compound effect and experienced that massive hike to be able to do 300 grand in my first year. Never would have happened. All because I didn't have that patience and ability to see into the future of what was going to take place. So this is what I really wanted to deliver to you with this message, with this video. Remember how the compounding effect works. It's not an immediate skyrocket. It's not an immediate overnight success. It takes time, but if you allow your business to take its course and you trust that at some point things are going to really skyrocket, Once everything's in place, you've got that little bit more capital than you had before, a few more products in your account, more skills. That's when things ignite. That's when your business is going to really take off. You just have to stick it out and not quit at one of these crucial points along the way. Remember, with my 300 grand sales screenshot I posted after my first year, probably about half of that had taken place in the latter 3 months of my journey, right? Half of it had taken place in the last 3 months, the last quarter of my journey. That's because this is when the curve was starting to go crazy. That's why now I've done way over 1 million, right? Because it just keeps growing. So remember this, and hopefully that will keep you motivated when a hurdle arises or when it feels like it's too tough to make it selling on Amazon. Remember, this is really how things work. And by the way, if you want to join me for a live masterclass where you can get more insights like this, more specific training for how to launch products on your Amazon business, then click the link in the description, get signed up for the session, and I'll see you there live. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you very soon.